The moment has finally arrived. Africa is no longer a spectator in the digital revolution. Today marks a historic shift in the balance of power. The African Union has just launched Afronet, a game-changing internet infrastructure built by Africa for Africa. This isn't just another tech upgrade. It's a declaration of digital sovereignty. The announcement was made during a high-security AU summit in Addis Ababa. The room was electric with tension and triumph as leaders unveiled the new system. Afronet is not a backup plan or a secondary network. It is a fully independent digital ecosystem designed to operate on Africa's terms. No more reliance on foreign servers. No more surrendering data to Silicon Valley giants. This is Africa reclaiming its digital destiny. The implications are staggering. For decades, the continent's internet traffic flowed through channels controlled by the West. Every search, every message, every transaction was monitored, monetized, or manipulated. But Afronet changes everything. It's a complete overhaul from domain systems to cloud storage, all hosted within the continent. The infrastructure is powered by solar energy, making it sustainable and self-sufficient. Satellites launched in partnership with South Africa and Algeria ensure global connectivity without foreign interference. Military-grade encryption, designed by Africa's own cyber defense units, locks out unauthorized access. This isn't just about technology, it's about power. The West has long treated Africa as a data colony. Tech corporations extracted information like gold, leaving nothing but digital crumbs behind. Afronet flips the script. Now, Africa controls its own narrative. The launch didn't happen in a vacuum. Behind the scenes, there were battles, betrayals, and last-minute resistance. Elon Musk, for instance, fought hard to keep Africa under Starlink's umbrella. Private calls were made, deals were proposed, promises were whispered, but the AU saw through the illusion. Leaked documents revealed Starlink's vulnerabilities to US surveillance. The choice became clear: sovereignty or subjugation. Africa chose sovereignty. The rejection was swift and absolute. A new clause in Afronet's security protocol bans foreign-controlled networks from accessing more than 1% of continental data. Musk's empire just lost a kingdom. The backlash from the West was immediate. Statements of concern poured in from Washington, Brussels, and Paris. France called it a threat to international cooperation. The US warned of Africa isolating itself. But let's translate the outrage. They're not worried about Africa's connectivity. They're terrified of losing control. Silicon Valley is in panic mode. Meta, Google, and Amazon are scrambling to adjust their strategies. Some are threatening lawsuits. Others are pulling advertising from African platforms. But their threats ring hollow. Africa isn't begging for their approval anymore. The continent is writing its own rules. At the heart of Afronet is the Digital Freedom Clause. This revolutionary provision guarantees equal access for all African citizens. Government surveillance must now pass through a newly established Afro court. No more unchecked spying. No more shadowy data harvesting. Foreign companies can no longer store African user data outside the continent. Even giants like WhatsApp and Instagram must relocate their servers or face shutdown. Local alternatives are already rising. Ubuntu Chat and Zakogram are just the beginning. The youth are leading the charge. Thousands of young African tech entrepreneurs have received AU grants to build the next generation of digital tools. AfroTube, a homegrown video platform, is already trending. Decentralized banking apps are revolutionizing finance. This isn't just about replacing foreign apps, it's about surpassing them. But the road ahead won't be easy. The West won't surrender its influence without a fight. Cyber attacks are inevitable. Propaganda campaigns are already spinning Afronet as authoritarian. Fake apps designed to confuse users are flooding the market. This is a digital war, and Africa is on the front lines. Yet, the spirit on the streets is unshakable. From Lagos to Nairobi, celebrations are erupting. DJs are spinning tracks at Afronet launch parties. Artists are dropping anthems like We Online Now. Even elders are asking, so, Facebook doesn't rule us anymore? The energy is electric. For the first time, people aren't cheering a celebrity or a politician. They're celebrating their own freedom. This is more than a technological milestone. It's the birth of a digital nation. Africa isn't just joining the internet, it's redefining it. The old gatekeepers can complain all they want. The future is here, and it speaks with an African accent. The world is still struggling to process what just happened. Africa didn't just create a new internet, it rewrote the rules of digital colonialism. Overnight, the balance of power shifted. Western governments are scrambling to contain the fallout. Behind closed doors, emergency meetings are taking place in Washington, London, and Brussels. The fear is palpable. If Africa succeeds, other regions might follow. This isn't just about one continent, it's about dismantling an entire system of control. The U.S. State Department's initial statement was carefully worded but dripping with tension. They called Afronet concerning and potentially destabilizing. What they really meant was, how dare they cut the strings? European leaders were even less subtle. France accused Africa of digital isolationism. Germany warned of fragmentation in the global internet. But the most telling reaction came from Silicon Valley. Meta's stock dropped 3% in after-hours trading. Google's Africa division went into crisis mode. Amazon Web Services announced an emergency review of its continental contracts. The tech giants aren't just worried, they're terrified. Afronet doesn't just block their access, it exposes their exploitation. For years, they've treated African data as a cheap resource. Now, that resource is under lock and key. Elon Musk's reaction was the most explosive. Within hours of the announcement, Starlink's African marketing team was disbanded. Leaked emails revealed his fury. They chose pride over progress. But Africa's response was even sharper. A viral post from the AU's digital ministry read, "Progress was never yours to give. The battle lines are drawn. On one side, legacy powers clinging to their dominance. On the other, a continent finally calling the shots." But Afronet isn't just about resistance. It's about creation. Across the continent, a new generation of tech pioneers is rising. In Nairobi, a 22-year-old coder just launched an Afronet-exclusive app for farmers. It connects rural agricultural communities without relying on foreign servers. In Lagos, a startup unveiled a blockchain-based voting system. It's already being tested in local elections. In Cairo, a team of engineers developed an AI language model trained entirely on African dialects. No more biased algorithms favoring English or French. This is what sovereignty looks like in action. The economic implications are staggering. Analysts predict Afronet could add $500 billion to Africa's GDP within a decade. Why? Because every dollar spent on digital services now stays on the continent. No more leaking revenue to foreign corporations. No more paying for overpriced cloud storage in Silicon Valley. The money circulates locally, fueling homegrown innovation. But the West isn't giving up without a fight. Cyber attacks began within 48 hours of Afronet's launch. The AU's security team detected coordinated strikes from unknown foreign actors. None succeeded. The military-grade firewalls held firm. Meanwhile, a subtler war is being waged in the media. Major outlets are painting Afronet as a tool for government surveillance. They claim Africa is trading one master for another. The irony is breathtaking. These are the same outlets that never questioned NSA overreach. The same corporations that built backdoors for Western intelligence. Now, they're suddenly concerned about digital rights? Africa isn't buying it. The Afro Court, a new judicial body for digital disputes, has already dismissed 3 lawsuits from U.S. tech firms. Their argument was simple: our house, our rules. The cultural shift is even more profound. For the first time, African children are learning to code on platforms designed by Africans. No more adapting to systems that weren't built for them. No more begging for scraps from foreign investors. The confidence is contagious. In Dakar, a group of students hacked an old Google server and repurposed it for community Wi-Fi. Their slogan? Recycle their trash into our treasure. In Johannesburg, artists are hosting virtual galleries on AfroTube. No more begging Instagram for visibility. No more algorithms burying their work. The creative explosion is unstoppable. Of course, challenges remain. Not every country is fully on board yet. A few leaders, wary of change, are dragging their feet. But the momentum is undeniable. The people have tasted freedom and they want more. In the streets, a new chant is spreading. Our data, our gold. It's more than a slogan. It's a revolution. The West's final card? Economic coercion. The IMF hinted at reassessing loans to Afronet participating nations. The EU threatened to review trade agreements. But Africa's response was swift and brutal. The AU released a list of 200 critical minerals controlled by African nations. The message was clear. You need us more than we need you. The leverage has shifted. Even the diaspora is joining the fight. African expats in Europe and America are canceling subscriptions to foreign platforms. They're switching to Afronet-compatible alternatives. The hashtag #logout challenge is trending globally. This isn't just about technology, it's about identity. For centuries, Africa was told what couldn't do. Now it's showing the world what it can. The final irony? Some Western nations are quietly asking for access to Afronet's encryption tech. After decades of calling Africa behind, they're suddenly eager to learn. The AU's answer? Send your engineers to our schools. The tables have turned. As the sun sets on the old digital order, one thing is certain. This isn't the end. It's the beginning. Africa isn't just online. It's in control. And the world will never be the same. The sun rises over a new digital dawn. Afronet isn't just changing infrastructure. It's rewriting identities. In a Lego cybercafe, a teenager grins as her screen flashes Ubuntu search. No foreign tracking. For the first time, her curiosity isn't being mined for profit. Across the continent, similar scenes unfold. A Maasai elder in Kenya livestreams a ritual on AfroTube. No censors. No community guidelines favoring Western sensibilities. The video goes viral, but on African terms. This is cultural sovereignty in real time. The economic shockwaves are spreading faster than predicted. Nigeria just announced a 40% drop in payments to foreign cloud services. That money is being reinvested in local startups. A Ghanaian fintech app, built on Afronet secure servers, onboarded 1 million users in 1 week. His founder quips, "We used to beg for seed funding. Now we're the seeds." But the true revolution is in education. Senegal launched the continent's first fully digital public school system. Textbooks are now open source, updated in real time by Pan-African scholars. No more outdated colonial curricula. No more waiting for Western approval. A 14-year-old in Kigali codes her first app using Afronet's developer kit. It translates Kinyarwanda into Nubian languages, something Google never prioritized. Silicon Valley's monopoly on innovation is crumbling. Yet resistance lurks in unexpected places. Some African elites, deeply tied to foreign tech interests, are pushing back. Angolan telecom tycoon calls Afronet isolationist in a paid CNN interview. His offshore bank accounts leak within hours. The hacker collective responsible? Zulu_defenders, a shadowy group aligned with One Africa Army. Their message: traitors have no place in our future. The West's strategy is shifting from confrontation to infiltration. Meta quietly registers an Afronet compliance office in Mauritius. It's a shell company. AU investigators uncover ties to CIA-funded data firms. The backlash is instant. Kenyan protesters burn Meta-branded routers in the streets of Nairobi. Tanzania bans all foreign social media firms from government devices. A Malawian minister tweets, "Your wolves wear sheep's clothing. We see teeth." China watches this showdown with calculated interest. After years of lone diplomacy, they pivot hard. Huawei offers Afronet free access to its 6G patents, with no strings attached. The catch? They want a seat at Africa's digital table. The AU's response is masterful. They accept the tech but reject the politics. A viral clip shows Nigeria's cyber envoy handing Huawei a contract, stamped with subject to Afro court review. The message is clear: we'll take your tools, not your terms. Meanwhile, Europe faces an existential crisis. France's Africa-based data centers are running at 12% capacity. The EU panics as African e-commerce platforms drop euro payment options. A Brussels think tank warns. They're decoupling from our digital empire. The cultural renaissance accelerates. Congolese musicians release an album exclusively on AfroStream, a new homegrown platform. It earns more in 1 month than their lifetime Spotify royalties. South African filmmakers debut a sci-fi epic about the 2040 Afronet War. The villain? A faceless Western AI called the Scavenger. Hollywood tries to buy the rights and gets rejected. Beneath the triumphs, however, lies a brutal truth. This revolution must be defended daily. Ethiopia thwarts a cyber attack targeting its Afronet nodes. Forensic trails lead to a London-based private security firm with Pentagon contracts. The AU's cybersecurity chief holds a press conference flanked by armed guards. Her words chill the West. We know your IP addresses. Next time we strike back. A new form of warfare emerges, fought not with drones but firewalls. The diaspora becomes Afronet's secret weapon. African engineers quit Google and Microsoft in droves. They return home to Lagos, Accra, and Lusaka, bringing Silicon Valley's secrets with them. A meme circulates, brain drain reversed. Prepare for brain hurricanes. Even African Americans join the movement. Atlanta activists build a mesh network linking Black communities to Afronet's backup satellites. The FBI raids their office, finding only a single note, 404 colonization not found. As year 1 of Afronet concludes, the unthinkable happens. The World Bank issues a report praising Africa's digital leapfrogging. Western universities beg to study Afronet's encryption models. A Tokyo Tech Conference features a keynote titled, Learning from Africa's Internet Revolution, the Ultimate Power Move. The AU launches Afronet Global, a paid subscription for foreigners wanting secure, surveillance-free internet. Early adopters include Russian journalists, Indian activists, and even disgruntled Silicon Valley staff. The ironies pile up. A former Facebook exec tweets, I had to buy the internet from Africa, worth every Bitcoin. In a village outside Bamako, an old man laughs as his granddaughter shows him AfroTube. He whispers, they told us we needed them. Now they need us. The screen flickers with a live stream of AU engineers launching Afronet's lunar satellite. The caption reads, Next stop, Mars. No Starlink required. The world watches. Africa builds. The future rewrites itself.